Hello, guys. This is a new episode of Cat Attacks Life. This is officially episode 10. Wow, we made it to 10 episodes. Woo! Someone to clap for me.
Oh.
Yes. 10th episode. We are covering social media tonight. Today, wherever you're listening this podcast, in whatever car, headphones, I don't know. You were covering social media, the effects on the world, how we grew up with it, how we feel about it, what's going on, what we don't know, and a lot of other things as well. It really sounds, to be honest, when we recorded this, it sounded like we were just shitting on like a lot of things. There are
Hey, you had a lot accomplished through a lot of anger, so
yeah. I do feel like we just kind of like dimmed the light on social media, but there is truth there. Josh, where can we find Cat Attacks Life?
we are on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook,
iTunes.
and iTunes.
Instagram, I'm going to
I was about to say, you're not on Instagram yet.
still contemplate whether or not, because it is a podcast, so there's not like a visual things. You guys don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. You've been seeing more vlogs lately. Visual content has been a lot of fun. Checking that. Without further ado, we're gonna get into this episode on social media. Hello, we are back. Yay.
Hello.
Josh was just teaching me his audio technicalities before I recorded this. His class on
I don't know if it's more of a you thing or if it's actually how this thing is designed. Either way, it pisses me off.
either way, he's gonna host a class soon. It's gonna be a vlog, and it's gonna be great on how upset he is on this microphone.
That's just gonna be my vlog or my. That's
Josh,
gonna be my podcast spinoff. It's just me being angry about shit. It's gonna be great.
It's like, you know what I hate, but that's your whole podcast.
That's my whole personality.
Just Josh. Anyway, welcome to a new episode. We are all caught up on episodes, so as we're recording this, it is pretty recent. I think I'm gonna release this week, this Friday,
That's 2 days away.
and then we'll
That's
have to record another episode.
We're actually
Next
caught
week.
up. Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
we're caught up.
Keeping you guys on your toes.
Oh,
Us
I hope
too.
I hope you guys are enjoying the mini vlogs that are released right now. I'm also doing another mini vlog in the future. I don't know if I've told you this, Josh, but it's gonna be about my skincare. I've already recorded some footage about some products that I ordered, and then I'm gonna do a vlog on it. So
This is
stay
news to me.
tuned. This is news.
Oh my.
To see my amazing face. Anyway, we are chilling right now. Hope you guys are doing well too. We are approaching the end of February. It's March already. We were just saying this earlier about like time and how it feels so distant.
Don't make me do this.
You
Don't
just
do this to me.
it. Say what you said.
Look, there's a point in all this. Really. Because, well, we were talking about the podcast and we were talking about things that have happened in our lives. And I was telling her, I was like, bro, November was like 3 months ago. But it doesn't feel like it. It just feels like it was like a year ago. And which I understand why she's laughing is because technically, yeah, it was a fucking year ago. But see, I know you know what I'm talking about, all of you, is that things are happening and it doesn't feel like they should be happening this fast. It also doesn't feel like when they do happen and everything is past that, they shouldn't feel like they're so long ago.
If you're resonating with Josh, comment down below
my
and
God.
tell me if you're resonating with Josh.
Maybe
I
I'm
mean,
just
I know you make sense.
off my rocker or something like that. But we went snowboarding like 2 weeks
I
ago.
know you make sense.
That feels shut the fuck up. That feels like a month and a half ago. It just feels so
Honestly.
long ago.
I mean, I feel like everyone's going through some sort of shift this month in any part of their lives. Like, a lot of people are. I feel like a lot of people are, like, doing a lot of things. Like, maybe this month is, like, you know, kickstart to a lot of things. I don't know personally.
Oh, you
what-
finally just did it, huh? You did one of me. I feel like a lot of people are doing a lot of things.
What? That wasn't stupid, though.
Come on.
That's true.
Come on. Yeah,
Okay.
it's true. No, now you're defending it like I'm
because
defending
November
it.
was a year ago.
I mean, it was technically.
See, 3 months ago, actually. 4.
A lot of people do a lot of things.
A lot of people do a lot of things.
Fuck.
But I don't know what's happening, and this is why we're gonna get into this topic. The topic for today in this podcast is social media. The big elephant in the room. Everyone has something going on their social media. I don't care who you are. You can't be off the grid without wanting to be on the grid. So,
What? What?
Off the grid? You've heard that term.
Can't be off the grid without wanting to be on the grid.
Yeah. Because you don't know about people want to be off the grid, but how did they come to that conclusion in the first place? Because they were on the grid over and over and over again.
That's fair.
The grid. We're going to be talking about social media and how we grew up with it, how it's changed over time, how we are affected by these things, how we see other people affected by these things, how we have been responding to these things, I guess. I don't know if you guys know, but I haven't been on social media in a while, like continuously. Like I don't check, I don't scroll, I don't I really don't check. I really don't know what's happening. Like even the news, I'm so away from that. Like the only social media that I am on, which is obvious, is YouTube and Google. I count that as social media, but it's like very selective in a way. Like even the ads come up on YouTube and then like all these dumb videos that I click on because they succeed with each other, and that whatever I watch is more like I'm allowing myself to watch it, as opposed to like Instagram or Facebook. Like you kind of just, it's mindless. At least YouTube I could put it away, or like at least YouTube is like some kind of content that's making me like learn something that I want to learn, or I don't have to, I don't have to click on the video. So that's where I've been, just chilling on YouTube. And it's been September, 4 months. No, 5 months, 6 months in March.
Well, since you came off social media? Yeah, that's about right.
And it's so different.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it just feels like, I don't know, like people have to keep me updated with stuff. Like I'm literally sometimes living under a rock.
Yeah, like how you asked me to tell you what's going on in the world. A fucking lot.
What's the news, Josh? What's the news? A lot.
A
Back
lot.
to you.
This is why I can't run a news. Well, I could run a newscast, but right now, no. What's
Newscast.
going on? A fucking lot, bro.
And that's the news with Joshua Healy.
Yep.
So yeah, Josh, what's happening? Josh, what's happening in the world?
There's still a deadly virus.
Oh, well, I know that.
That's happening.
We're still wearing masks, I hope.
There's still masks going on. We're wearing masks right now.
In my own.
We have a new president.
I know that.
That's happened. We might be getting some more money. Look, you might live under a rock, figuratively speaking. But just because I'm still connected to the world in a way that you are, doesn't mean I pay attention so much to it.
Maybe you're not the right person to ask these things to.
No, not if you want me to articulate what's everything. I mean, I pick up news articles here and there.
I feel like the way you describe it, though, is all I need.
Yeah.
We got masks, new president.
Okay, so this is what we'll move into on this, and this kind of leads into social media. From mainstream media moving into social media, is that what is it that you mentioned earlier? Is that you were talking about how you responded to somebody's message, I think on Instagram or something like that, or you're messaging somebody and they're like, "Oh, I haven't gotten to my messages," and they're like political stuff.
Oh yeah. Facebook Messenger.
Facebook, yeah, Facebook, and you're like, and he said something about politics and just the state of the world and whatnot, and you're like, "Wow, if you're actually paying attention, you're gonna get mad."
If you're actually paying attention to the things that are happening around you, you're going to get pissed, upset. I'm not saying it's not important. I'm not saying I'm over here like, I guess I am, but like ignoring everything. But sometimes, what is it? There's a quote. I think it's based on a game that I'm playing on my phone. But the character was like, the less you know, the better you sleep. And that kind of hits. Because the less I know, the less stress, I guess, depending on whatever it is that is.
No, the whole ignorance is bliss thing.
Hmm?
The whole ignorance is bliss thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that works like that. Ignorance is bliss. Like sometimes you just, I don't know. Is that weird? Is that weird to like think that like I feel like I'm such a hippie. I feel like people should just put away their phones or like, I just feel like people just need less time at least to be online because there are a lot of things out there that are meant to make us angry, like you said earlier, are meant to make us like clickbait onto things and like share an opinion on things, and like sometimes people can live like that. I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those people who just
Neither am I.
Yeah.
There's a mutual friend of ours. There's a mutual friend of ours from a while back, and I see them on social media all the time, and they're consistently debating and arguing people, and I'm all like, good for you. You make great points, but consistently you're
It's kind of
doing that?
exhausting.
It'd be exhausting. It's like you're arguing with people who just are not going to see your opinion or your side of the story. And that goes back to social media where it's like, here's the interesting thing, the thought that I'm forming right now.
Wow.
Is that you choose to engage with social media as much as you choose to, but you're also aware of the fact that it's like a gambling system. They're trying to get you addicted to it. And that how much of that is your choice versus how much you're being influenced.
There is this documentary on Netflix. I think I've told you about this. I haven't watched it fully.
I'm pretty sure I've heard about it
Social
a lot.
Dilemma.
Yeah, a lot of people have told me to watch it too.
And
ironically, I haven't.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at you. But I've watched the first 20 minutes of it, and I got so mad because all I needed to know was like they were trying to control us on how much time we spend on our phones. That to me, this is like a few months after I'm off of social. But then I didn't finish it because I got upset. But like the whole premise of what social media is that people are trying to control you based on the ads that you see. And then those ads get generated, and like people who pay for these ads get the most money. And then like, when you spend some time on an app, it's money still. And then think of that like times, 1 billion people, like 8 billion people in this world. And then whoever, like how many people have phones, like that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money being made because you're on your phone or seeing an ad, and then you click on it based off the fact that you see something. And this is why they know what you're looking at. And this is why it's scary, because you were just talking about like toothpaste, and then the toothpaste ad comes up on your phone or whatever, because they're monitoring what you search, what you're looking for, what you Google search, what you want to know about, and then they throw it into your face as a product. That's basically what social media is, without even attaching like, the instant gratification part, like the showing what's happening in my life part. We'll get to that in a second. But when it comes to the money part, they're making money based off of what you're looking at, searching up, who you're friends with, what you like, music you like, ways that they can make money off of you on products. And it is so scary to think that like just because I search up a toothpaste and then like other things come up about toothpaste, most people don't care because they'll probably go to the store or whatever. But then most people are gonna be like, hooked on the new toothpaste, hooked on the charcoal toothpaste that came out, or whatever. So that's how they make money. It's just because you're looking up things, and then they just latch onto everything else you like. The likes on Facebook and then the ads you see are all connected. It's nuts. And then how much time you spend on your phone, and how much time that you can actually like look at your screen, and then they add up. That's another part of it. It's so minuscule, but it's so controlled. And it'll make you a literal zombie to, it gets you addicted to these things. And then you're spending money before you even know it,
Yeah.
or you're giving them money before you even know it. So that's only like a small part of what social media is, and there's so many like more things, and then so many sites too that are new on the rise. We've been using for a while. Like Twitter has become such a big thing for everybody. Facebook obviously, and then like now TikTok, Joshua.
Hey, at least there's some comedic value in it.
Yeah, of course.
So,
like it's entertainment, right?
It's
You use it for.
entertainment.
You want to tell them that you have a TikTok?
I don't make TikToks, but I have one to watch it. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people like that. There's a fine line between. All right, so when we're getting into social media, we got into the money aspect of it. Of course, like anything in this world, they're going to try to make money off of you because of where your attention span is going. Wherever you pay attention is where they make the money. But that's the balance that social media, the value that it's brought to us as a species, as a culture, as a people, is the value of the ideas that you can spread across it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're learning pretty quickly that just because you have an idea or an opinion doesn't mean it actually is worth shit. There's some stuff out there that people say that should not be said out loud in public. We value your opinion. You have the right to say whatever you want, but that doesn't mean that you should be saying it.
Yeah.
There's just some stupid shit out there. But on the opposite end of that spectrum is the value that has been brought through the dissemination of human ideas, where we're seeing other realities in people's lives. And we're like, oh, I didn't know that happened, or I didn't know that people thought this way. It's blowing open the communication of who we are as people, of who we are as individuals and as group mentalities versus the individual mentality. Then that's the value of social media as it currently stands. Now the problem is the monetization of it. People have to make a profit. I'm not blaming anybody for making money. It's just how you go about making your money. And that's where we're at right now.
I honestly love the fact that you can reach out to anyone in the world through social media. Like that's what you were saying, right?
Yeah.
Having that, like, you're not alone, or you share your story and someone across the world can relate or talk to you, like different languages and all that stuff, language barriers and stuff. I think that's so powerful, but we don't use social media for that. You know what I mean? We use social media for wanting to get attention or like spreading something out. Like obviously when I post on this podcast about this podcast, I'm not looking for like the most clicks or the most views. Like this is to me a diary, and whoever's listening can listen and go back to it. Like when we get older, you and me, Josh, like we'll go listen to this shit.
Well, I think
like,
this is more for you and me than it is for anybody else.
Personally.
Yeah.
You know, personally. And do I want this to do something good in the world? Absolutely. If anyone could listen to this anywhere and then like tell me that it's helped them in whatever shape or form, that's what my goal is.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm looking for money.
Or if somebody even comes across and is like, yo, that was cool.
Yo, you guys are cool. Dope. And then we'll be like, you want a picture? And then I'll be like, and then the guy will be like, yeah, for sure. And then Josh will be like, sure.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like
it's.
I
didn't mean it like
that.
You
want a cookie? But I mean, like social media for me, I wish it was used to connect with people from different countries around the world, sharing stories, like something so kind of wholesome, pure. I feel like that was what it was when we were growing up. Not really, right? MySpace was just kind of toxic too. Like you were in a space where you're fighting to be in your top 8 or whatever, and like for some reason when you got to school, like your friend who didn't put you in the top 8, you look at them differently. Don't say you didn't do that.
I mean, I guess.
Don't say you didn't do that.
Well, yeah, I mean, we both had MySpace. I wasn't like overly concerned with it.
So like stuff like that, and then I just wish that it started from a very it transformed into a very like wholesome thing, because there's so many cool people around the world, and there's so many like stories that need to be told, and good news, not just bad news, but good news that need to be told and spread, and like have some like brightness and hope, and like things that are like make us feel better and more connected as people. I would love for that to be social media, but
well, I think that's there.
It's there. It's there.
I think it's not there to the degree that you and I would necessarily
like. I
like
wish
it
we
to
would
be.
just be nice to each other. You know, instead of isolating each other because of our opinions, or we're gonna share it online anyways. Like
I think we're at a critical point in time where social media is extremely, I wouldn't say balanced, but it's leaning in directions it should have been leaning a long time ago, and we're more aware of its use now.
Mm-hmm.
Versus 3 or 4 years ago, where everybody was on it and nobody was really commenting on it. Nobody was really saying like, "Hey, what is this doing to us?"
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with phones. When phones came out, the way that they are now, the way that we're connected now, what is that doing to us? These are all, because if you think about it, it's 2021 now. If you go back maybe 10, 15 years, which is in the span of the development of, first, us as human beings, and second, us here in America as a country, and comparison to the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the technological innovations that you and I grew up on, and a lot of people that we know grew up on under the age of 50, a lot of that has only happened in the past 50, 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's the lifespan of our parents. That's like people who raised us.
Yeah.
And then even crazier for them that they have gone from, the tech in the 70s to where it is at now. Computers, literally having a computer. Like in the 60s and the 70s, they had computers that would take up whole office buildings.
Yeah.
And now we have our parents, our uncles and our aunts, and they're sitting there with a phone in their hand and a laptop in their lap, and they're doing it. It's like, it's crazy when you think about it. So it's the same thing with social media and how that's affecting us. We're just now understanding what that's doing to us.
Right.
Or what the effects can be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where we're at right now, is we're starting to understand the mechanics behind it, the people behind it, the agendas behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's where we're at.
Yeah, I see my break from social media has helped me see my life in a little better light than, if I was still on it, or there was other people's energy in my face. Like, I'm one of those people, though. Like, I'm one of those people who can't. Sometimes if I see a story that's really sad, I'll get sad. If I see like a sad video or something, like I get like affected by it. And the same with entertainment, the same with the funny videos, the same with like the cat videos that I used to just scroll through for hours just watching cat videos. And
I still do that, unfortunately.
That's not unfortunate. Cat videos are pretty cool.
Not just cat videos, but yeah.
Yeah, so it will do both things. Like, it can make you really sad, angry, happy, it can make you laugh, which is a big source, I think, for everybody too. Like, memes obviously have been bred from social media.
That's literally the only reason why I'm on
TikTok. That's the only reason
that
you are sane.
Is memes.
Is memes.
I wonder if I could start a bachelor's in memes. Hell yeah.
Memes are comic reliefs from some stupid situations that we see all the time, and that's fun. I'm not even knocking that off, because like I need to laugh too. But I think my thing is like the way that I was affected by it definitely just made me attached to it more, especially back in when like years ago, like Instagram was my only like big thing, and I had like 1,000+ followers on one of my accounts. I deleted it. I don't have that account to this day, but like that account I started like years ago, 2000, like middle school. So I kept that and then like used that for like exposure, right? Starting to do a lot more, and like at the height of me like doing what I wanted to do, and then like I got into Tough Enough. I don't know if you remember.
I remember that.
Yeah, and then that was a big thing, and people were like following me and like liking my stuff. I've never had like 300+ likes on my photo before, and I guess that was happening.
Ooh.
And then like views on YouTube, like the Tough Enough audition tape video that I have, I think it's still up, has like 30,000 views, and that was like a big thing for me. There were people that I never talked to before in my life coming up and saying like, oh my god, like I love your story, like you're so inspirational. One of them was like a big fan and wanted to reply for me. I never experienced anything like that before in my life. So that, when I used social media and then started like continuously still doing it, and like having people that I don't know follow me, and then having like an aesthetic, I guess, and then like the things that I was doing with MMA, and like having that like be my story told. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't posting just to post that I was there. I was working like really fucking hard, and then I get to put that on my platform, and then like other people as well that were that are still kind of big and celebrities, I guess, like me in there, like mentally it made me think that like I was a hotshot, right? So that's something that I also like know that is that will you will feel that way eventually if you get to a point of like people following you and then like what they expect and then what you're trying to feed the content to them, and then like me having to, you know, look for this instant gratification, and then like still not being happy about it or still not being happy with myself about it because I don't know, like I thought it wasn't enough for whatever, you know. I feel like you remember those times. But for me, it was toxic. And for me, that was like this is where I needed to step away. I was just like, whoa. Like, I don't want to be like that. You know, I don't want to. It makes no sense to me. Then I reached a point where I was just like, this is kind of stupid. And then like, I just got off of it like gradually. And then off of it since September. So, yeah, it will do that to you. I know, like, I don't know if I've ever told you any of this.
What, you and the toxicity of it and whatnot?
Mm-hmm.
Or I always I saw it when it was happening to you, and I was like, well, she's gonna handle it one of two ways, and whichever way it goes, that's gonna be her, you know, crux to bear, is whether or not she lets it go to her head or she stays grounded. Which
That's hard.
I mean, you moved in the
Yeah.
direction of staying grounded, which is good. But the fact that you even recognized the fact that it was becoming toxic in a certain way, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like a lot of people go through that too. You know, of course, if one person goes through it, a bunch of other freaking people will go through it too. So that's another thing about staying grounded. Like when you're on social media, that's hard to do. Like,
I read somewhere it's called like the. Did I read it? No, it's from a comedian. Never mind.
Who is a comedian?
This is how I think it was.
It's not Hannibal Buress, was it?
It might have been Hannibal Buress.
He's so funny.
Shout out to Hannibal Buress.
Josh is a big fan. Hannibal, if you're listening, come on our podcast.
I'll buy you a new pair of sunglasses, bro. Buy you 2 pairs of sunglasses. But it was either Hannibal Buress or Bill Burr. I can't remember who it was, but it was a comedian. He was basically saying it's like, you know, and I think he compared it to social media. I can't remember. My memory's all over the place. But it's pretty much, it's like the car effect. Like when you're in your car and somebody like cuts you off and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and you're in your car, your doors are locked, your windows, you roll them down or whatnot, you will say whatever the hell you want. And I've done this. I'm sure everybody else has. It's like you will go off. You will say things that might even surprise yourself. You mother piece of. Now, take yourself out of the car. Same situation happens. You're in an elevator. Are you saying that to their face? Nah, not at all.
Nah.
Not a chance. I mean, there's some of you. You're bold, but
You're bold.
But that's the same effect on social media, is that you're behind a layer.
Yeah.
You're behind a protective space. Even if your real name is out there and you're commenting on somebody's post and you're saying some very, very angry shit,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of whether or not you're justified, right or wrong, your opinion, however it is, you have this kind of confidence that it gives you, that if you were in the space between you and just that person, you would not have that kind of confidence, candor, radical honesty. Just because the consequences are so much more attached to the in-person
Mm-hmm.
relation
Mm-hmm.
of you saying those things versus just behind a screen.
So they're called keyboard warriors.
Keyboard warriors. You're just detached from the consequences of what you say.
You don't even have to put a face to it. You
No.
just say whatever you want.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons why I don't engage on social media. And people who do, hey, cool for you. You fight the battle one keystroke at a time. It's just, I don't like that, how social media removes those consequences from.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said it somewhere. It's like a lot of people in this generation have gotten away with saying some shit that they've said without ever facing the reality of getting punched in the mouth.
Oh yeah, I saw that once.
Yeah,
That's
I'm not
true.
saying someone should get punched in the mouth. I'm saying is that
We don't advocate violence here.
I don't advocate violence, but it goes back to that whole thing. Just because you have something that you can say doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you should. Doesn't mean that's going to. I don't know. People are crazy, or people are like their opinions. Like, you know, when you say like some opinions are not wrong.
Oh no, opinions are very wrong.
I feel like there's gonna be There's so
That's
many
just
people
a
with like
fact.
wrong opinions. That's a fact.
That's a fact. Here, all right. Opinions are opinions. You know what a fact is? Some opinions are stupid.
Boom. Boom. That was one of the. That's a good one, Josh.
It's like, because I'm very scientific minded in a lot of ways. You just stupid. You just
you're just being
you're not
ignorant.
arguing and whatnot.
Yeah.
No, there are just things that are categorically wrong. Like the whole people are all like 1 + 1 might equal 3, and
Oh my God.
you don't know what's real. I'm like, well, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
While I will go down that line of thought with you that the systems by which we define our mathematics and language are very arbitrary and self-serving and subjective. Unfortunately, for the past however long, couple million years that humans have been here, I'm sorry to say, but that's the reality of what it is, and that's pretty much a fact in our reality.
Sorry to say, 1 + 1 is 2.
1 + 1 is not fish.
Fish. That's a good point. A lot of good points in there. People see, that's why I also feel like it was good to take a break from it. It was because I know there's a lot of ignorant people on the internet that I don't want to see. Like, I don't want to see come across the comments. People just not like, having a filter or everything. Like, that's why social media is there, so you can share your opinion. But as Josh said, but your opinions could be wrong and unnecessary, ignorant. So I don't know. My thing with social media is that we always say instant gratification now. I feel like that's one of our key phrases too, in anything, not just social media, but like instant gratification. It can be toxic in its way, because a lot of people really love the fact that it's on our face, it's there. One like in your brain is like, oh yeah, for sure. And the speed of it, someone likes it, and the how many likes you get in a post. Like, I've been there. That's why I said during that time, it definitely was toxic for me, because I was waiting on likes and responses and comments or whatever. So instant gratification is just one of the big things too, especially in this generation with TikTok. I feel like TikTok is the one where they can get the most followers in the shortest amount of time. Like right now, that's their big ticket right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying don't, if someone can do that continuously and have whatever online career in their way, if they like doing that, do that. I'm not saying don't do that, but in a way, you can see where these habits form, or then it going deep into their social lives, right? If they don't have that gratification from other people or validation from other people, it gets really unhealthy for them, or the way that they grow up is different, or and even then with the way they grow up too, you can see some kids don't have a lot of respect for a lot of things or a lot of people, or I'm not saying everything deserves respect, but it just goes to show how the younger generation at this point is so influenced by social media that they'll go online, and start something, and it gets big, and then it inflates their head, and then whether it's popular, whether it's a really good thing, or whether it's something kind of petty or toxic, it's just a lot of, I don't know. To me, it's unnecessary. To me, it's why are you doing these things? You don't have to do any of these things. And I sound old.
Well, we both do. Sorry. Well, that's because we grew up with the generation where social media was basically invented. That's where we grew up. We grew up. We were there when it first happened.
True.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We were there when the internet really started picking up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say it's crazy, is that you and I are only 25, but we're still able to talk about this thing that's very, very integral into our lives, everybody's lives, no matter what age you are.
Mm-hmm.
We're only 25, but we were there to see it when it first came on to be. The way that I compare that in my head is that it's like if this happened the way it did, it's like if you were at the first moon landing, the rocket launch.
Mm-hmm.
If you were there in 1969, and then 20 years later, you're on the first transport ship to Mars for the colony.
That's one of Josh's biggest dreams.
It's gonna happen. Will I go? I thought about being an astronaut. We'll see. Maybe
See?
as long as it's not cut off. I mean, I'm 25. We'll see what happens.
I love how you're just contemplating like your plan right now.
I'm a jack of all trades. You understand that if I wanted to,
We're going to Mars.
we're going to Mars. Maybe it's my impulsive nature. I'm fucking going. But
It's like Disneyland. We're fucking going to Mars. Maybe one day.
to Disneyland or Mars?
Mars. But we can treat it like its whole like
Oh, like how it's just so easy to go.
it's like when you win the Super Bowl and they're like, "What are you doing next?"
Go to Mars.
We're going to Mars.
That's how I compare the creation of social media to its current bulk where it is at right now. Is like watching someone first land on the moon. It's like, yeah, I'm going to Mars for the weekend.
Oh yeah.
That's how crazy this has changed and how much of an effect it's had on our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people neglect that. Is just the speed with which technology is speeding up. Is that it's outpacing our evolution. It's outpacing our human
Yeah.
systems and whatnot. Because we were not wired this way to have instant gratification, like you said.
That's so true. Now you're going deeper. And now keep going.
Because it's like the way that even if you go back maybe 150 years ago, which is not a long time for us to change the way that we think, is that farmers, you're farming your food, you hunted your food,
Mhm.
you had markets and whatnot, but more or less those people provided you the food through those means of hunting it. Now everything is completely convenient and outsourced. You go to a supermarket rather than going through a field or a jungle to
Mhm.
be able to get what you need to eat to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Survival is no longer an aspect. We weren't wired. I feel like we weren't meant to have this consistent, I have what I want right away, like that, in
Yeah.
a snap of a finger. We were built to work and fight for what we have, for what we need on a daily basis, and now we don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also think that flows into a lot of why social media has also led to an increase in depression and just mental illness and whatnot. Whether or not that's always been there, and this is a thing or a thought that I have, is that sometimes the explosion that we have in mental illness is not necessarily because it's always been there, but because is that people have we don't have anything necessarily to struggle against in our immediate lives. We struggle against social stuff now,
Mm-hmm.
Inequality, both wealth and racially, corruption within the government system, the food that we eat is corrupted, or the food that we're sold on. Our health, the way that we maintain and deal with our health isn't necessarily simplified.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we live in the 21st century, and never mind physical health that we still don't understand completely,
Yeah.
but even our mental health. I just feel like social media is leading the charge on things changing so rapidly fast. I'm sorry about that, guys.
Nice.
Another double negative,
Nice.
whatever that is. But it's the spearhead, and it's slowly, I hate myself. It's slowly outpacing. It's outpacing.
I'm glad you can catch yourself on these words, Josh.
Self-awareness is important. It's outpacing our ability to change.
Mm-hmm.
The things around us are changing a lot faster than our ability to adapt to them.
Yeah. That's true.
And it's leading to all these kinds of things that are happening in the world right now. The instant gratification, the addiction,
Mm-hmm.
the mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's another thing too. Like when it comes down to social media and mental health, like a lot of it is comparison,
yeah.
because we can see a lot of things that people are doing that we don't have, or that we are not doing right now. Say you see someone go to Bali. I don't have that. I don't want that. And you get sad about it. Then you kind of just do that over and over again for people that you like look up to, or like celebrities and their money and what they're doing, and then like you put that in your life. It's just like, I want that. Not that it's bad, not that it's bad to want it. I like stuttered, brain fart. But it is bad to know that like you're comparing your life. Like you're comparing like what you have, what you versus what you don't have, and then that just kind of removes you from being grounded. That removes you from paying attention to what you have in your life, and then like you compare yourself to the people that they're not living a life that you want, but that's not yours. You know, it's just comparison is the death. Comparison is the death of what is it called? Not the death, but comparison.
I know what quote you're going for. I've heard you say.
I don't think that's the right quote right now though. But comparison when it comes to your life and social media and people around you and people you know and people you don't know as well, it really just creates this like, oh, I want it all, but I don't have it all, and that's how people sometimes fall into like some sadness, some depression, some kind of like woe is me, or like I don't know what I have to do in order to feel happy. Maybe I need more money. And then we turn back to money. And then we turn back to like, you know, working 40 hours in a week where we should never be working 40 hours in a week anyways to survive. That's dumb. And that's capitalism. And that's another thing that we could talk about later. But it goes in a circle. Like it's a circle. It's a giant circle. Like social media doesn't pay attention to social media doesn't pay attention to mental health. Like if anything, that's one of the things that really disrupts its process, its way of evolving, its way of thinking, its way of seeing reality, right? Like what do you see on your phone? Is that what's happening in real life? Sometimes people think like that. It's not. It's insane. I think it's really sad, and like I'm not even against social media. Just don't be on it to the point where it's like making you feel a certain type of way about your life, you know, because your life is your life. And this is why I feel great away from it, is because I don't know what's happening, and then people have to tell me, and then I'm like, oh, that doesn't affect me at all. And then I'm here. Not that I'm saying like there's a lot of bad things too happening. I don't know, sometimes you don't need to be seeing all these bad things happening. Or is that weird, or is that like shallow, or like,
no, I don't think so. I think the desire to maintain your own well-being and your own mental health against these things is perfectly natural. See, that's just my discontent with the way social media is and the way mainstream media is that they have a very particular agenda, and that's to make money. And so the easiest way to make money off of anybody is by throwing what they want in their face, and it's like, hey, you just buy this right now, or through fear. And a lot of social media, a lot of mainstream media is just fear mongering. There's no real reason for it. Like you said before, is, you know, there's a lot of good things that happen out there that we're not told about on a daily basis. It's just this is why I don't watch mainstream news, and this is why I barely even get my news from social media. If I want to know about something, I go out and search for it versus having it find me first.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing about it, is that you're not wrong for wanting to be off of that cycle. But at the same time, I wish that the cycle was better in the sense that it was empowering for us to be more connected than divided. And that's, people have said this from the very beginning, is that it's interesting how social media, our cell phones, we have so many more means of being connected as a planet, yet we're more divided than we ever have been.
Yeah.
And that's because, and I don't know if that's the effect of social media, or, and this is a big question mark in my mind, or has social media just revealed us as a people?
Oh.
That, yeah, we are more connected, and we should, because of that, be more understanding, or are we just not meant, or we're not in that space to be understanding right now? That we are, at our baser instincts, creatures who are all about survival, and that has fed its way all the way up to where we're at right now. Why we're so divided is because we're all just trying to survive for ourselves.
Right.
But then we have this big apparatus of technology, of social media and news and information and communication, that's showing us every single reason why we're wrong, why we should be caring about the neighbor across from us. And I think at the end of the day, I think that we're headed in that direction. I'm hoping that we are. This is just a speed bump the way everything is right now.
Yeah.
That, you know, you look across the pond, you look across the border, and you see that the person who's fighting for their life, their survival does not take anything away from yours.
Mm-hmm.
That by giving a little bit of yours does not take away from you being able to be okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? That awareness. I think it's going to come in time. I just think that's where we're at. I just wish that's where we were at sooner.
Oh, you want the instant gratification on the fact that we're not going to realize that?
I want the instant gratification.
Everyone's our enemy.
Of people being good people. Is that so bad?
Boom. Boom. That's it. That's all.
So I think social media is a magnifying glass.
Mm.
And whatever you choose to do with it is going to magnify that effect times 10. I think that because there's people out there who use social media for social awareness and causes. That's really, really good. Like, Black Lives Matter, police brutality, corruption within the government. And we're beginning to see that the world is not black and white. It's shades of gray through social media. And now we have a tool at our disposal, social media, to be used as a magnifying glass to focus on what we want to focus on. Now, here's the thing I struggle with is that bad, the tool itself, or are the people who are using it bad inherently? Mm-hmm. And I don't really know the answer to that question. I don't know. Like I said, it's a reveal. It's a magnifying glass. And it's either magnifying the issues that are in front of us that we face together as a people, or it's magnifying ourselves and the issues that we have within ourselves. Yeah. And I don't know how I feel. I don't know if the tool is bad or if we are the ones who are bad. Yeah.
And that, God, I honestly it's overwhelming to know how just how many people use social media as good thing, good tool, raise awareness, show a picture of your dog, have people like it. Then those people who use it to their own agenda, attacking other people, sharing dumb opinions. We went over that. Opinions can be wrong. I don't know, just being blatant, ignorant. It is a magnifying glass, because now that's why I also feel like you take a break from it, because there's a lot of people on there that just, that are good, but then it gets overcast by a lot of people who don't share the same things as you, or like it's very just one-sided thing and they're closed-minded. And that's how I kind of came to a conclusion that I needed a break. Whether or not people take breaks from social media is a common thing now. I feel like it is. Yeah. Let that be its thing. And I feel like that's why you're getting the point that you were saying about like it's connecting us more. I feel like it is because we're realizing that like it is affecting us too. It's like, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to feel negative. I hope people realize these things when it comes down to it. Like, I'm not even saying you can't be on it. Disclaimer. I didn't say don't go on social media. But pay attention to what it's doing to your life, grander scheme. Pay attention to what it's doing in your day, how much time it's taking, and energy it's taking from you to just scroll through something, read something, and then you get mad at it. I do believe that ignorance is bliss. I do believe it's easier said than done, though. So, when we were growing up, though, like, MySpace was our big thing. MySpace was not so controversial. Rip MySpace.
Well, if I'm correct, I think the reason why MySpace fizzled out and Facebook didn't was because MySpace refused to monetize first.
See?
I think that's the reason why. I think Facebook beat it. I think Facebook too also had a very hard battle between monetizing and ad space, but they are the ones who eventually decided to get on the horse first, and that's the reason why they're as popular as they are now versus why MySpace isn't. Because if you think about it, they're the same almost. Yeah. In a sense.
Read bulletins instead of posts.
And then you have instead of Messenger, it was. What was it called? I don't even know.
It was some sort of messenger for sure.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
it was so innocent when we were on there. Like, we just thought we were like the coolest things. Innocent in my reality. Other people's probably like, I don't even want to get into that. But like, it's so innocent when we first started, figuring out what this was. Twitter. I didn't join Twitter until one of my friends made me. 2011.
I mean, you beat me. I didn't join Twitter until we
Exactly.
graduated.
I know. Do you remember?
Yeah.
One of my friends, one of my high school friends, I don't know, Alec, if you're listening, love you. He was the one who was like, get a Twitter. And I was just like, why? You know?
It would be Alec. Yeah.
Huh?
It would be Alec.
And then I did. And
Yeah, there wasn't
that
Alec. It
happened.
was Giuseppe. It was one of them.
No, it was Alec.
Oh, okay.
That was middle school.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, middle school. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's right.
Also, Giuseppe, hi, if you're listening. So, like, without this, and that was the part that was the social part. It's just like, hey, check this out. Hey, check that out. Hey, I'm over here. Be cool with me. And then eventually, I didn't get Facebook until last. I got Twitter. I got MySpace, Twitter, Instagram, then Facebook.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I love MySpace too much. I'm not gonna get a Facebook until
Fuck
I
Facebook. I'm
need
getting my face.
to. Neopets. Anyways, so like that was like our whole social media as a kid, and then YouTube. Oh my God, YouTube! Like, it's even like seeing where it was and then where it was now. Remember when we were like, "What's YouTube? Like, what do you mean videos on this site? Like, what does that mean?" And now it's just a common like thing. People make money off of it. They live their lives on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's it's been only a decade, to be honest. Like maybe a little more than that. The decade, 10 years of what this has grown into, how much of an impact it's had, how many people have it now. We'll always find you there. Snapchat, I'm not a fan of Snapchat. My own personal reasons. And so there's so many outlets, TikTok too, that just kind of 10 years, only 10 years. Damn.
Mhm.
That's what I feel like my parents who were when the computer, like the first computer they got was like a box.
What is
and
this?
Now the computer is in her hand. Call it a phone.
Yeah.
So, that's where we are. That's where we are. And I feel like in the next 10 years, it just kind of shows like we're evolving faster than, or no, not evolving. We're coming up with things or inventing things that are faster than our comprehension of as human beings. I can't talk. Human beings in this lifetime. So
Yeah.
here we are. Here we are.
Here
What do
we're
we
at.
have to show for it? What's going on here?
Yeah. It's just.
Do you ever think about this sometimes?
I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
As you can so clearly tell.
Yep.
I'm very concerned with how it affects people, and not to say that you shouldn't be getting out there, putting yourself out there, but for what reasons and why.
Mm-hmm.
And then the opinions that people have, it's very revealing. For example, I follow this one person on Twitter, this one millionaire on Twitter, just because on the hopes that I might get money. I mean, hey, if I get money,
of course.
cool.
If you get money through another person.
I'm not expecting it. Bro, I'll always take free money.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Anyone
who
would
wouldn't?
yeah.
I'm not gonna take that money. Are you ridiculous? No, I'm
dumb.
taking that money. No strings attached. Yeah, I'll take $100.
Right.
But it reminded me again. I'm such a nerd, but it reminded me again of like when we went to the moon, because we had just landed on Mars. The rover that just landed on Mars a
Mhm.
couple days ago.
Mm-hmm. I see. I don't know. What happened?
Yeah, I know, but that happened.
Okay.
There's a rover on Mars right now.
See, like you're my
But
source of information
know,
that I
I know.
actually like would love to hear.
Yeah, but now you think about that. We're on Mars right now. That mission probably cost a couple $100 million, next to maybe $1 billion or so.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And this millionaire philanthropist, he is a philanthropist, was saying, it's like, why are we spending money on the space program? We have problems down here. There's a virus. We need to give money to the people down here and not send it up into space. And I'm like, for somebody who's made a lot of money, how short-minded you are with regard. And that's why social media opinions. I'm sorry, sir. Your opinion is wrong.
I still take your money though.
I still take the money though.
I will take that.
I think I'm gonna
take that
follow
money
him.
away from you.
I'm gonna follow him. Don't come for the space program. Get the fuck out of here.
But that's been around for even before we were conceived. You know what
I have a
mean?
whole. All right, we're gonna get into this. I have a whole rant about the space program and the expenditure of money. I think it's for like every 10 cents on the dollar of the military budget, the space program gets 1% of a percent of a percent of that money federally. And look at what we've accomplished. That's one of the things that will always be passionate about, is the fact that, like, look, from like the mid 1950s to 1969 when we landed on the moon. Think about it. We went from not even knowing how to build and throw a rocket.
Yeah.
Put in the first, I think it was like 1962 or 63, putting someone in orbit. We went from that in the span of 7-10 years to landing somebody on the moon. And that was with less money than what the government spends now on military funding, on other programs. Like, do you see the ingenuity?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing now, where it's like we're on Mars. I don't think people fully comprehend
we're on Mars.
That not only are we on Mars, this is like the third rover mission or so that they've sent. The third on. Do you know how hard it is to get to Mars? Do you know how long it takes?
But I know
it's an 18-month round trip.
Yeah.
Only if you line it up the perfect way to come back to Earth.
Yeah.
You have to. There's so many factors. It's not easy.
Josh.
But it's like it's 2021. We're on Mars. We're streaming HD fucking pictures from Mars. Like, doesn't that blow your mind?
Yeah.
And this is why this is why his opinion's wrong. Back to bring it full circle. It's like the amount of the benefits of that thing so far outweigh whatever current problems we're facing right now down here. Don't get me wrong. I'm not minimizing the pandemic.
Yeah.
But, bro, we have achieved so much more through the space program on so much less money, the space shuttle programs, on so much less money than what it has been taking to fix the problems that are in front of us.
Which is wild.
So, now to wrap this up with social media, is that maybe it's not so much what we spend our money on, it's the people who we leave in charge to fix the problems that we're dealing with.
Hey, really good point. That's so true.
Because
that's so true.
I'm not saying, smart people matter. They do matter. What am I saying? What I'm saying is...
Smart people matter.
Smart people matter. Is that NASA and now SpaceX cultivated a lot of smart people, and look what they did with less money on what we're doing now with more.
That's so true.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of money is in a lot of people's hands, and they're the wrong people.
And they're the wrong people.
They're the wrong people to have a lot of money. That's another topic that we need to cover.
We're going
because
there.
We're going there, and it. God, we have. That was only a sneak preview of Josh's space expedition. That should be something that should be touched in the next one too, because there's just so many things too. Like, aside from social media, the cons, there's a lot of pros. We're wrapping up almost like an hour on this episode. We will definitely see you guys in the next one.
Whenever that is.
Probably next week.
Probably.
2 weeks. But yeah, just to wrap it up, like, you guys, like, there's a lot of things that are happening in the world, and don't forget that your life comes first. Don't compare yourself to someone else's online. I'm not saying don't be on social media. Definitely take your breaks when you need it. Pay attention to how it makes you feel, and know that even then we are still connected one way or the other, and even then we can take steps to do that, feel that way in our own neighborhoods, in our own towns, in our own cities. Like, it's really easy to get carried away into like different countries and cities out there and whatever's happening over there, but when you sit back and realize that there's a lot going on in your city too, like, just take consideration, or don't be like me, completely ignorant completely just ignorance of like all these things happening, and ask other friends what's happening. That's me. I'm not ignorant. I didn't mean to say ignorant.
On our next episode, we explore Kat's ignorance.
Yay. Yes. All right, Josh, sign us off.
With that, to quote a Navy SEAL,
Navy Steel.
a Navy SEAL. His name is Andy Stump. If you guys know his stuff, check him out. He's a pretty cool dude. I like his stuff. Keep your world small. With social media and everything that's going on, especially with all the news about the pandemic and just the general, negativity that's out there, just keep your world small. Work what's in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Be kind to people. Be as nice as you are allotted to be. And just keep your world small.
Mm-hmm.
There will be a time where we're going to all have to band together to fix some of the problems that are happening out there. But for now, keep your world small.
Okay, guys. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.
Bye.